Hey guys, today I'm ranking all my foundations, but before that, I want to let you know that I don't have a lot of them for a makeup artist. I have 12 in total, and only 3 of them from that lot are on the high-end spectrum. This is because, like I've said before, I would rather splurge on powder products than on liquid products like foundations because they have a very short and limited shelf life, and I don't want to keep purchasing a 2 to 5 grand foundation every 6 months. Anywho, this ranking style video was actually started by a YouTuber named Kelsey Brianna J, and I just want to give credit where credit's due. So without further ado, let's get on with the video. I will be going from worst to best. So the first one, which comes at the bottom of the barrel for number 12, is this Miniso Mini Pony Perfect Drop Blurring Foundation. I'm not gonna lie, I have 2 reasons for purchasing this. One is shits and giggles, and 2 is the fact that I did try it at the store. It seemed to have good coverage with a nice dewy finish, but my problem with this and why I never ended up using it is because it reeks of alcohol. Wow, like that is strong. It's legit vodka in a bottle. I think I can get drunk from this, and that can't be good for your skin. Miniso does have a fair few products that are pretty good, like their eyeshadow quads, their eyeshadow sticks, their brow products, but others like their lipsticks and foundations and all, they aren't good. And in fact, I was only holding on to this in case I needed to let you guys know in a video like this one. And yeah, if you see this at the Miniso store, don't pick it up. The next one for number 11 is the Sugar Ace of Face foundation stick. Now before anyone freaks out, I don't dislike this foundation. In fact, I don't dislike any of them except that Miniso one. But the reason why this is at the bottom is because it pulls really yellow on me. In fact, you'll actually see that with a lot of my foundations. I often have to mix one foundation with another one I own because I happen to have a very neutral undertone. It's a first world problem, but a problem nonetheless, because it's not like my undertone is neutral leaning cool or neutral leaning warm. It's smack dab in the middle neutral, and which is why every time I try a foundation, especially one from a drugstore, it looks either really pink or really yellow or orange, which isn't a problem. I can get the foundation to the undertone I want by mixing and matching, but when it comes to a stick foundation, which is supposed to be a one and done product, I shouldn't have to do that, which is why it makes me not want to use this, which is why it's ranked where it's at. The next one for number 10 is the Kryolan Vitacolor Liquid Foundation. Kryolan is a pro makeup artist line. Now, I don't have any complaints regarding this one, but the reason why it's ranked this low is because the coverage on this is insane. It's a full coverage foundation, and when I say full, I mean full coverage. So obviously that makes it a dud for everyday use, but it's amazing for special occasions, which is why it's ranked this low. I don't use it a lot, but if you are in the market for a good full coverage foundation, something which is not as serious as say Dermacol, you will like this one. Although I must let you know it has an extremely dewy finish, so if you're not into that, or if you have really oily skin or both, you might want to stay away from this one. But it is available online at their official website or their standalone store in Bandra, Mumbai. The next one, coming at number 9, is the Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless. By the way, this is a MAC foundation pump that I attached to this because otherwise it's a pouring format, which I'm not comfortable with. So I know, I'm aware, it's a cult favorite, but I don't have oily skin. It's more on the normal to combination side. And for some reason, on me, this is very hit and miss. There are days it'll go on smoothly, blend amazingly, blur my face, last a long time. And then there are days where it'll go on patchy, doesn't seem to blend, and exaggerates my pores to the point where it looks like I have holes all over my face. And I'm not someone who wears makeup every day. I wear it only for special occasions or for Saturday videos. So that's why I avoid using this, because I don't want to end up having a bad makeup day the few times I choose to wear it. For number 8, we have the Nykaa Skin Shield Anti-Pollution Foundation. Now, if you're wondering why I have 2 of these, I'll tell you why. So this is number 1, Pretty Porcelain, and this is number 2, Very Vanilla. There's no in-between shade. I have to mix both to get my right shade. And that's exactly why it's ranked this low, because while there's nothing wrong with the formula, for its price point, which is $8.99 each, I feel like it's too much of a hassle for me personally. Now we are moving on to the good one. So for number 7, we have the Maybelline Superstay 24 Hour Full Coverage Foundation. This is supposed to be a dupe of the Huda Beauty Faux Filter foundation, and I really like this one. I wore it to my convocation ceremony. It applies well, lasts long, and looks amazing. It's just that, like I said before, I gravitate more towards dewy, more hydrating foundation these days, and this one's matte, but I do prefer to use it during the summers. By the way, the Superstay is supposed to be matte and poreless on steroids. And considering how on and off this is in terms of application on my skin, this is supposed to do worse, but it doesn't. It looks amazing. Maybe they improved the formula, I don't know. Number 6 is the Nykaa Skin Genius Sculpting and Hydrating Foundation. The response on this product has always been very polarizing. People either love it or hate it. I really like it for days. I don't want to wear a lot of makeup and just want to cover up my discoloration and redness. And this also has hyaluronic acid in it. The only problem with this product is that it only comes in 5 shades. This is the lightest shade and it's dark on me, and even the deepest shade is not deep enough. People say that shouldn't be a problem because it's supposed to be like a BB cream, and I myself actually prefer foundations a little darker than my original skin tone. I mean, obviously, but regardless, I still think they should expand their shade range, especially for people with deeper skin tones. Number 5 is the Makeup Forever Ultra HD Foundation. I love this one. This gives an airbrush finish. It's so emollient and it blends amazingly. The only problem, which is not the product's fault, it's my fault, is that I ended up getting a shade that's way too dark for me, which I do prefer wearing a foundation that's 1 or 2 shades darker than my natural skin tone, but this one's a little too much and I have to mix it with other foundations. But it is great formula wise and you will like it. So if you're in the market for a good high-end foundation with a semi-matte finish, look no further. Number 4 is the foundation that arouses me. This is the L'Oreal Infallible or Infallible 24-Hour Fresh Wear. I don't know what's in the formula, but it looks so good. I feel good wearing it. It's like my skin, but a lot better. In fact, the one that comes after this at number 3, the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Foundation, is pretty much a tie with this one. Because even though this has a little bit more coverage, both of these mixed together on my skin is like a match made in heaven. It makes me look sophisticated, like how a luxury foundation would behave, like one from Tom Ford. And they both have a semi-matte finish. The only problem is that their shade range sucks. I mean, but they did do really well in the Indian market, so I guess most Indians will find a shade that will work on them. At number 2 is my Too Faced Born This Way foundation. I don't have any complaints regarding this one. I mean, that's why it's at number 2. The only thing is that it gets matter or mattier, whatever, the longer you wear it, which isn't a problem at all for most people, not even for me. But like I said, I do prefer dewy foundations, but not as much as I love the formula on this baby. It's amazing. It's pretty hydrating. It's infused with coconut water, alpine rose, and hyaluronic acid. So that's radical. And also the shade range is pretty good. Last but not the least, at the number 1 position for my taste is the Smashbox Studio Skin 24-Hour Hydra Foundation. This is the only foundation of the 12 that I own that I don't need to mix with any of them to get my right undertone. This is in the shade 2.12N, so as you can tell, it already comes in a neutral undertone, which in itself bumps this up at the top of my list. But besides that, it also does everything I look for in a foundation. It blends well, covers well, lasts well, it's dewy, and it even blurs the textures on my face. Although I wouldn't recommend this one to you if you have oily to combination skin or you don't like foundations that aren't matte, because this is not. It is pretty dewy. But if you want everything this does, but in a semi-matte to matte finish, you can go for the Smashbox Studio Skin Full Coverage Foundation. It's the one that comes in a tube. That product was a big hit. I believe it was Foundation of the Year in 2019. It's what brought Smashbox back in the game because it was deteriorating as a brand. I would buy it for myself, but I don't absolutely need it at this moment. Regardless, the shade range and undertone in both of these foundations are pretty good. So whichever you decide to splurge on according to your taste, you won't be disappointed. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please remember, take everything with a grain of salt. Try everything for yourself because we all have different skin, different taste. However, if you do have a similar taste to mine, then I'm sure you'll be satisfied with my recommendations. And if you watched this far, comment dewy. Like this video if you liked it, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.